Turn on any major streaming platform today, and you'll hear the exact same complaint. Comedy is under attack, and comedians are being silenced. But there is a glaring contradiction here. The very people claiming they've been silenced are usually broadcasting that message to millions of viewers, backed by massive algorithmic boosts and eight-figure media deals. These performers wear the aesthetic of the brave rebel, but instead of speaking truth to power, their material targets marginalized groups with far less power than they have. Massive distribution channels now filter what reaches the public, determined largely by billionaire interests and algorithmic incentives. We are seeing the strategic capture of comedy by concentrated media ownership. To understand how the historical weapon of the rebel became a tool to protect the elite, we have to look back at the psychology of our two oldest comedic archetypes, the jester and the clown. Historically, the jester was a formal, paid insider. He lived within the royal court, wearing a specific uniform, like the coxcomb hat, that signaled his protected status. That protection came with a heavy string attached. The jester's freedom was strictly licensed. He could only speak the truth because the king allowed it, using the jokes as a cheap pressure valve to make the court feel open. Because he operated inside the halls of power, the jester relied on sharp, specific wit. To get the joke, the audience already needed to know how the court worked. There is a dark side to this role, the shadow jester. Armed with an intimate knowledge of power, this figure acts as a court propagandist, using comedic skill to make comfortable lies feel like uncomfortable truths. Because the jester's subversion happens completely inside the system, they are always balancing on a knife edge, just one step away from actively protecting the very power they're supposed to critique. The clown has a more fragmented, popular lineage. Born from street theater and traveling circuses, the clown performed for anonymous crowds in public squares, existing entirely outside of royal or institutional protection. Instead of political wit, the clown uses vulnerability. By performing the universal failure of being human, like a simple pratfall, the clown creates a felt recognition that bypasses the need for shared political knowledge. This physical vulnerability hits us before our intellectual defenses can even engage. It works because it operates entirely on a shared felt experience, rather than political commentary. This dichotomy defines the art. The jester is an insider performing outsiderness for the benefit of the powerful, while the clown is a true outsider who exposes the physical fragility that power tries to deny. These archetypes have dark reflections. The clown's shadow is nihilism, a state where the painted smile is permanent and the performance of laughter has lost any relationship to the reality beneath it. The jester's shadow is the court propagandist. This figure uses the jester's traditional tools, timing and insight, to achieve the opposite effect. They make comfortable lies feel like edgy truths, using humor to protect the status quo rather than challenge it. The shadow jester is a potent threat in the modern information ecosystem. By adopting a rebel costume, they make the powerful seem relatable, while framing the marginalized as the ones who are truly in control. This capture is fueled by media consolidation. A few platforms and billionaire-funded networks control distribution, using algorithms to amplify the shadow jester. The industry now rewards complicity. Comedians punching down receive the most algorithmic reach, the largest venue bookings, and significant financial payouts. This diagram illustrates how algorithms reward comedians who punch down, accelerating content in a self-reinforcing loop. When audiences push back, comedians experience privilege shock, confusing lost impunity with lost freedom. Ultimately, this shields power, insulating ideologies like Christian nationalism from scrutiny. Dehumanizing humor often serves as a precursor to physical harm. When a comedian mocks an atrocity like a lynching, they use the safety of the stage to validate a social hierarchy that targets specific groups. This performance functions as a cultural rehearsal, where values are practiced in a joke before they are enacted in the real world. The phrase, "it's just a joke," describes an active mechanism. The jokes a culture finds funny tell you exactly what that culture is prepared to do. Within this structure, comedy functions as boundary enforcement. It tells an in-group exactly who is inside the circle of humanity and who is safe to dehumanize for sport. History shows the danger of this mechanism, which brings us back to the panic over free speech. As a legal principle, free speech protects you from state censorship. It does not mean you are immune from social consequences, and it certainly doesn't guarantee you a lucrative platform. The true reciprocal obligation of free speech is that everyone gets a voice. That includes the critics, and it includes the marginalized communities pushing back when their humanity is made a punchline. We often talk about punching up versus punching down, but power dynamics are rarely that visible on the surface. A joke can appear to target one person, while actually reinforcing the ideology that harms everyone else. We have to look at the results. Who absorbs the actual harm? Who gets the relief? And whose dignity is still intact when the crowd stops laughing? But genuine jesters still exist. Comedians who take on the incredibly difficult task of speaking truth upward without sacrificing anyone's humanity. Black comedy survived by making the experience of oppression vivid and specific. This tradition proves that refusing to dehumanize the marginalized isn't a creative limitation. It is a demand for a higher level of skill. True comedic genius doesn't need to punch down. It finds ways to expose the structure of power itself, a feat that requires far more courage than the shadow jester can muster. When marginalized communities object to punch-down comedy, they are performing the clown's oldest function, naming the gap between the performance and reality. They are pointing out that a joke at their expense is often a rehearsal for their exclusion. Look at Richard Pryor. He exposed the brutal reality of being Black in America so vividly that he forced audiences to recognize their own complicity. Navigating the constraint of not dehumanizing people isn't a limitation. It is a strict creative demand, requiring far more skill than simply punching down. True comedy survives because it takes real courage to hold a mirror up to power. It does not demand permission to say whatever it wants without pushback. When the jester's stage is bought out by oligarchs and managed by algorithms, the public needs a different strategy. We have to deploy the tools of the clown. The clown reminds us that everyone falls down, acknowledging that shared vulnerability, the mutual experience of surviving systems that simply do not care about us, builds a political solidarity that cannot be hijacked by billionaires. Even in a highly manipulated media landscape, real laughter remains involuntary. It crosses ideological lines and creates a fleeting but unbreakable human connection that concentrated power can never fully control. Maintaining the jester's actual function requires us to be precise about what we are laughing at and whose position in the hierarchy gets stronger when the laughter stops. That precision remains our most essential tool to reclaim the captured stage.